So set up your pranayama shavasana. You could either have a bolster and a blanket, or you could have a stack of blankets with a blanket for your head. So whatever is good for you. So, we're going to lie down in a particular way. So first of all, sitting a few inches in front of the bolster, lift the chest, come down onto your elbows, ease yourself all the way down, adjust the blanket under your head. Keep your legs together, all right? Keep your legs together and have your hands, arms down by your sides. Have your hands right next to your trunk so that you're almost touching, okay? Then from here, extend one leg, then the other leg with your feet together. You can glance up and make sure that your legs are at the very center of your mat. You can use your mat like a ruler so that you know where you are in space. You can tell how you're arranging yourself. Now, press your palms down, extend through your heels, flex your feet, press your palms down, and push the heel of the hand toward the feet as you lengthen the back body and extend through the crown of the head. Then from here, keep your feet close together, but let the feet turn out so the little toes drop down now. Okay, but the feet stay close together. Then turn the arms one at a time, externally rotate so that the palms face up, but have the fingers close, almost touching your thighs, almost touching your hips. Relax your thumbs, relax your hands. Okay, so we're in kind of a narrow arrangement. Close your eyes, settle in, rest, observe the normal breath, the resting breath. Be here for a few minutes, just observing the resting breath, just observing the rising and falling of the abdomen in this kind of long, narrow shape. So today, taking this long, narrow shape to feel the vertical axis of the body, the long, tall vertical axis of the body. Observe the state of the breath. Observe the state of the mind. Soften the elbows. Soften the throat. Soften the temples. So having the body arranged in this narrow vertical line is so that we can access in today's case some of the bandhas. We started talking about the bandhas last week, so I'd like to continue that discussion, continue that exploration. Let's take another few resting breaths, starting from a place of quietness. So now as we start to employ the bandhas, we will start with Uddiyana Bandha, so exhaling, and then begin the inhale, and as you inhale, Draw that whole abdominal region up and back. Feel the breath expanding into the rib cage, and then let it go. Not to begin the bandha work or the ujjayi work aggressively or suddenly, but to kind of ease our way into it. Continue in this manner for a while, feeling that abdominal lift up and back, Uddiyana Bandha. Now, a bandha is rather strong. Bandha means lock, and it's rather strong. But not to start with a strong lock this early in your practice, this early in the morning. Just start to acquaint yourself with the Uddiyana Bandha as you inhale. The Uddiyana Bandha is what lifts the breath upward, lifts the prana upward into the chest region, into the ribcage region. But don't go for a strong lift straight away. Let it develop over the course of numerous cycles. On your exhale, just let the bandha naturally soften and release. Don't try to hold on to the bandha when you exhale. All right, now for the next few cycles, we're adding in the awareness of Jalandhara Bandha. So now you're already lying down, so there's not a lot you can do in terms of the head. The head is resting, and the head should remain resting. But now, exhale completely. And then as you inhale, employ Uddiyana Bandha to lift the breath into the rib cage. And now feel the chest moving toward the chin. Feel the chin drop down and the chest come nearer the chin. And then let it go. Soften the bandha. Soften Uddiyana Bandha. Let the breath go. So now feel these two, we're exploring these two sort of layers, two stages, two sections. And so continue in this manner for the next few cycles, adding that Jalandhara Bandha. So the Jalandhara Bandha, when you're supine, you realize that it's not so much about the chin coming down, it's about the chest lifting up. So with each inhale, at the very top of the inhale, feeling the chest spreading, expanding to come up to meet the chin, throat softening. Now, there are a few things that can help with Jalandhara Bandha. One is a slight external rotation of the arms, a spreading of the collarbones, not in a strong muscular way, but just a very subtle external rotation, the thumbs moving outward, wrists, forearms, upper arm externally rotating just slightly. So it's not a strong muscular effort. Just bring that consciousness to the arms. And then you should feel when you do that, the shoulder blades pin in to the back ribs, The back muscles move in toward the spine, and the chest spreads some more. Chest spreads and lifts some more. So just notice that, and do not make it strong or muscular. Don't make it an asana. But make it subtle. That movement, slight external rotation of the arms, hitting of the in of the shoulder blades, knitting into the back muscles so that the chest lifts more. And then soften all those actions in order to release the bandha, release the breath. It's also here's an opportunity to observe the rhythm, the syncopation, so to speak, of the bandhas. So first the Uddiyana bandha comes in, and then Jalandhara bandha is activated, and then Jalandhara bandha softens, and Uddiyana bandha softens and releases. For the last couple of minutes, then let's add now Mula bandha. And Mula bandha is the main reason why I wanted you to keep your legs close together and your arms close together today, is having the legs closer gives you better access to that root, the pelvic floor, the urethra, vagina, anal mouth. So exhale all together. Inhale. Use Uddiyana bandha to lift the breath up. Abdomen pulls back. Jalandhara bandha as the chest comes closer to the chin. And now insert Mula bandha. Pull up through the root. And then feel what the effect of the Mula bandha on the inhale. And then soften the Mula bandha. Soften the Uddiyana bandha. Soften the Jalandhara bandha. You can take resting breaths anytime you want to, okay? So that the breath stays very soft and relaxed. Do a few more cycles like this, okay? So the order of the bandhas, the rhythm of the bandhas goes Uddiyana, Jalandhara, Mula bandha. So it goes in that order today, all right? I'm not saying that that's written in stone. I'm saying that's what we're practicing today. So do a few more cycles on your own, resting breaths in between as needed. Now for these last few cycles, concentrate on elongating, prolonging the exhale. So when you get to the top of the inhale and you add the Mula bandha, then prolong the exhale as you release the Mula bandha, as you gently release, slowly release the Uddiyana, slowly release the Jalandhara. So slow, soft exhale. Do 3 more cycles like this. The 3 bandhas, slow exhales. Explore kind of the proportions and the rhythm, timing of the bandhas and the release of the bandhas. After your 3 cycles, then you can fold your arms in, bend your legs, and roll off your support to the side, okay? So now you'll sit in Virasana. So for simplicity, I suggest sitting on a block and then have a blanket for your lap. Okay. And today we're using Virasana once again to establish sort of a narrow, long seat. And so make sure that you are even on the buttock bones and then have a thick blanket on your lap to rest your hands. So the lap blanket serves a couple of purposes. It raises your legs a little bit so that you don't have to lean forward, to rest your hands, but also it widens your lap a little bit. So the hands, if I put my hands on my legs, my hands are narrower than my shoulders. But if I put them a little bit to the outside, then the hands are in line with my shoulders and the elbows can dangle down. Make sure that you are right on the center of the sitting bones. And then roll the upper arm bones out and rest the back of the hand on the blankets. Wiggle your thumbs a little bit and let the thumbs come in toward the forefinger, all right? And then roll the upper arm bone out so that the outer elbows drop down, the forearms turn out, the palms turn out, and make sure that the fingers are very soft. See, watch my thumbs for a moment. This is what tends to happen. This is very common. The thumbs harden and move out. This is very common, and it's a sign that your mind is active. You know, sometimes our minds need to be activated in pranayama because we get sleepy and dull. But uh, ideally, the mind stays quiet, settled, and the thumbs should also stay quiet and settled. All right, so let that thumb be really soft. And if you're not sure about where your thumb is in the air, then just touch it gently to the forefinger. Not to use muscular effort, but let it drop in toward the forefinger. Let the thumb come in toward the center of the palm a little bit. Okay, from here, inhale, spread the chest open, exhale, Jalandhara. Bring your head down. Just do a few normal breaths here first. Keep the external rotation of the arms, not to pinch the elbows in, but to let the elbows hang, as if there's like a 5-pound weight on the crook of the elbow that's drawing the elbows downward. Elbows downward, but not the shoulders downward. So just a few exploratory breaths here. And then now, exhale completely. Soften those thumbs. Exhale completely. Inhale. Draw the breath up and back, Uddiyana Bandha. Lift the breath into the rib cage. Lift the breath up into to the top chest. Jalandhara Bandha. Feel the chest and chin coming closer together. And then Mula Bandha at the very end to inject the breath higher. And then release the Mula Bandha. Release the Uddiyana and release the Jalandhara. The chin stays down, but we're not actively, we're not activating that bandha consciously in between the breaths. Take your hands a little bit wider, Pam. Okay. And then exhale all together. Inhale, Uddiyana. Continue the inhale. Feel the Jalandhara. And then add the Mula Bandha. Release the Mula Bandha. Release the Uddiyana. Soften the Jalandhara. All right. On your own now. On your own now. A few more cycles. So remember, the thing to notice here is the sort of the proportions of each of those sections, the proportions of those bandhas. Observe the intensity of the bandhas and how they relate to each other, how uh, how they're divided up among each other, and then also notice the rhythm, the syncopation of these three sections, these three actions. How you time them, how they complement each other, how they relate to each other, how they support each other. So it's kind of like building a chord, like building a chord on a piano or a guitar. And after you finish this cycle, then return to normal breathing, and with your eyes closed, bring your head up after you're finished with the cycle. Turn your palms down with your head balanced at the top of the spine, and open your eyes. Okay. So now we will do the same thing, but we'll add a kumbhak, a pause, okay, at the very top of the breath and at the very bottom of the breath. So the way that Kumbhaka will work is um, you'll inhale, Uddiyana, Jalandhara, Mula Bandha, and then like a long, tall balloon, you hold that, and then slowly empty out. Release the Mula Bandha first so that the breath has some place to go, and then the Uddiyana and the Jalandhara, and then stay in that place of emptiness for a few seconds. Okay? So now how long you hold the Kumbhaka is up to you. The rule of thumb is to not strain. Okay? So don't force. Don't feel like you have to stay for a certain amount of time. It's really up to you, and it's going to be different every day. Okay? So I'll talk you through the first couple of cycles. You don't have to stick with my rhythm, okay? I'm just going to give you the structure, but you can establish your own rhythm. We'll do the first two cycles together so as to establish the structure of what we're doing. I just want to say one more word about the hands. One thing that might help if you find that your hands get tight, and by tight I don't mean this. They don't usually do this, but they usually do something like this, where they're holding tension, and the hands are not, the skin of the palm is getting hard. Is to hold a stone, hold like a good heavy stone in each hand, and let the fingers sort of curl around that stone. All right, That might be one way to bring the softness to the palm. You'll notice, at the very least, you'll notice when your hands are pushing into the palm, skin of the palms is pushing into that stone. So then, kind of like if you look at the shape of my hand, it's a slightly cupped, you know? It's not a flat hand, it's a slightly cupped hand. Fingers are soft. It's not quite like Shavasana hand. Shavasana hand is kind of, more closed. So this is not quite like that, um, but it should be very soft. All right. So let me talk you through the first few cycles. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, bow your head down. Exhale completely. Inhaling, Uddiyana Bandha. Lifting the breath, Jalandhara Bandha, Mula Bandha, and then pause. Then release the Mula Bandha. Release the Uddiyana, soften the Uddiyana, soften the Jalandhara. Pause, stay in that emptiness. Then take a resting breath or two. One more altogether. Exhale completely. Inhaling, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, Mula Bandha. Very tall, very full. And then release the Mula Bandha. Release the Uddiyana. Soften the Jalandhara. Pause. Resting breath or two. And now, a few more cycles on your own. Do 3 cycles on your own, resting in between as needed. So this is Bahya Abhyantara Ujjayi with Kumbhaka. Inhale and exhale, Bahya and Abhyantara Kumbhaka. It might be Ujjayi 14. I can't remember what it is, how it's numbered in the book. See that the head doesn't get heavy. See that the chest is lifting so that the head is coming down, but it's not heavy, and the shoulders stay pulled back. After you finish your 3 cycles, then bring your head back up with your eyes closed and turn your palms down onto your blanket. All right, so when you're finished, then you can set up for Shavasana, flat on your back, if possible. If you require support, use it, but if possible, just lie flat on your back. So now, no bandhas, nothing special, just quiet, resting breath. But hopefully, sort of the residue of the bandhas remain. So there's still a feeling of that length that you created, that tallness that you created, and a feeling of vitality in the physiological body, in the abdominal organs, in the heart and lungs, a feeling of vitality, a feeling of quietness in the mind. So I will leave the meeting, but you could stay as long as you want in Shavasana. Have a good day.